Okay, recording is on, and we're all good to go. We can see, we can hear, so let's just get right down to business. Obviously, Friday was a very interesting day when it came to the indexes, and whoever came to Wednesday knew that this was coming. We just got way beyond monthly bands and weekly bands, and just way, this is like a ballistic Bitcoin move. This is not an index move. Not supposed to happen without any kind of pullbacks, especially because the whole year was just doing that kind of nonsense. Anyway, the Bears finally decided to show their self a little bit. Yeah, I said it was coming last Sunday, and then on Wednesday I was like, yeah, we're ready to go. That was it. So anyway, clearly we did get what we were looking for. And now the question is, okay, that's like the initial move. What happened? Right? And again, that's what we're here for today. And just remember that, trends take time to turn over. Right? It doesn't happen in one move. It doesn't happen in one day. There will be back testing, and there will be lower highs on higher time frames before we can even talk about, turning this into something more serious than what we've seen. That being said, what are we looking for? Well, okay, let's play it out. I just wanted, before I even get into the, levels and what we're, anticipating, just define and understand why this was happening. Why did this all of a sudden happen? Every other time, we just pull back and, into the first level of demand on the higher time frames over the last year or so and just made new highs, right? And that was it, right? We pull back into demand and we make a new high and we keep on happening and happening and happening, and all of a sudden, something different this time. Why? It really has much to do with the bonds. So I'm going to start there today, and then we'll talk about the indexes. It's all coming from higher time frame bonds, the TY, the US, what is going on over here. And if we look at it, let's start on the monthly chart, just because we're going to get a perspective of where we're holding. For the past year or so, we were just flagging around. Right? And then over, it looks like the last 2 months, we're starting to break away from this major bear flag here. You see this? Boom, boom. Starting to turn into a wicked bear flag. Bond prices going down means interest rates are going up. And interest rates going up is not good for the stock market. Okay? The stock market's risky. Bonds are not risky. People would rather get return, with less risk. The reason we've been flying for so long, the market has been flying, is because look what's been happening to interest rates. They've been dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping, and people are looking for returns, so they're pumping their money into the market, right? All of a sudden, this starts, this free fall that's going on. This is a ridiculous move for a weekly move in bonds. I mean, we were at 150, and we're at 144, 6 points in 1 week. That is something ridiculous when it comes to, and therefore what's happening here is the bonds are forcing the market. People are pulling their money out, okay, and they're starting to cash in on, the ridiculous amounts of rallying that we've been having in the market, and it's based on what's going on here. At the same time, higher interest rates is not good for gold either, okay. So we'll talk about that as we get there. It's also important to realize that when interest rates are higher, it means the dollar is getting stronger. Okay, and when the dollar is getting stronger, that means the other currencies are going to be getting weaker. We know that the dollar has actually been selling off even till, I would say, Wednesday or so. The dollar was not flexing its muscles, even though this started happening, right? And all of a sudden, we know what happened in there. We'll talk about that as well. But it's all coming from the bonds, which means when the bonds find the bottom and start to rally again, that's when this leg down in the markets now will come to an end. And that's when the bounce will start. Okay, so we want to pay attention over the next week or so to the bond prices. Watch for the bottoming pattern down here. Because when it starts, that's when you'll know that the leg down that we're looking at now in the market is ending. It's a leg down currently because the trend is still up. So now we're going to start to get into talking about what's going on here. If anybody has a question so far, if you're not following me, just raise your hand. It's understandable. But if you have a question, please feel free to ask. In the meantime, I'm going to just assume that you understood what I was just talking about. Okay, so this is currently a leg down. Liza's got a question. Okay, there we go. Don't be embarrassed. Go ahead, honey. How you been, Liz? Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Joe. It
How are you doing?
Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Can you hear me?
Yes. I thought the bonds and the equities they move in opposite directions. Or am I confused here?
Okay, so when bond prices are going down, that means the interest rate on the bonds are going up.
Mhm.
Okay, so when they should be moving in the same direction, right? The price of the bond depends if you're talking about the interest rate or you're talking about the price of the bond.
Price of the bonds.
Right. The price of the bonds right now have collapsed, right? Which means that the interest rate has to be rising.
Right.
And high interest rates are not good for the market. Not good. They don't want high interest rates. They want low interest rates, so there's free money. People can pump their money into the market and keep buying and buying and buying because they're getting the money for a very low interest rate, right? They can borrow money at a point to 2% and put it in the market and make 5-6%. All of a sudden, if I can borrow money at 3 or 4%, right, and I put it in the market and I got a questionable return of 5%, now I have to worry about risk. Not so appetizing anymore, right? So that's for the price of stocks, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes,
So I'm not sure why I always have the idea that the equity prices and the bond prices they move in opposite.
So whenever you have a question about, right, if you have a question about correlation, put both assets on the same chart. Plot them together. Open a chart, put them both on there at the same time, and you'll know exactly what the correlation looks like. Right?
All right.
In general, we know that there's a lot of things that have been being disconnected lately, right?
Okay.
Things that shouldn't be correlated are correlated. But yeah, if you're interested about the correlation, you want to look at things like that, just open a chart, and put them both on at the same time. On the same chart, you'll see. Okay?
All right. Okay, thank you.
Let's go on. No problem. Next. So there we go. Okay, let's talk about what we're looking for. Okay, notice that this is a total uptrend, and all we got is a little push down, right? On the weekly, on the monthly, it's obviously not just done. We just started the month, but a weekly engulfing candle, that is extremely bearish, especially after this, ballistic move that we've been going through over the last few weeks. And what we're looking for this week is a continuation early in the week of the leg down until we find the bottom someplace over here, a little bit lower down. I'll show you some of the levels I'm looking at, and then we're going to get a bounce back to this sucker here. So it's early weakness. I think we might get as far as 2,700. A little bit lower down, maybe another 50, 60 down in ES. Look at the level down here on the 240. And maybe it's this level here on the weekly chart, right at 2,700. And then we get the bounce back. I think this bounce back is actually going to be the lower high that we've been waiting for quite some time. And if that is what we're looking for, that's going to be the beginning of the major short that we're talking about. So for now, can you find it? Yeah. So for now, we're talking about, continued weakness. I would say Monday, Tuesday, maybe even into Wednesday, depending on how far we get down. Once we do get down to this 2,700 level down here, I'm interested in buying at this point because there's going to be a bounce, okay? And the bounce could be as much as 150 ES points, back to 2,850. So lower down, I'm interested in the longs. Could we get another 100 down on ES and get all the way down? Or maybe, actually it's 100, down to like here somewhere, 2,675. It's about another 100. It's very possible. It is possible. So let's look at some of the levels underneath us and see. Again, when we're looking for the bounce to start, you better find out that we make sure that we're at a bottom in the bonds. When we're at the bottom of the bonds and you see the bottom forming, higher lows, you'll know that it's time to start, expecting the bounce to come back into the equity market. Okay, so let's take a look down here. What do we got? So we're in air all the way. This one got even further than I expected. I was looking for this level here, and I did exit my shorts in this level here, and I guess on Friday through 3 o'clock it just collapsed, and I was gone for the day already, and that was it. So right now I'm not in a short on the equities. It doesn't mean I won't get short sometime tonight if we, open up a little bit and get back test into some lower levels, which I'll point out in a minute. But for now, I'm looking for a little bit more weakness, potentially all the way back to here. If we can get back down here, I'm the buyer, definitely. Okay. In these levels over here, we'll see. It's not something I'm willing to just jump out and buy right away. But down here, at 2,700, even right around there, I'm interested in buying over there. I'm expecting a back test somewhere, either here or here. This is the daily level up here, right? The 2850s up there. There's a 240 level, obviously, over here. That looks like also might be a valid test at 2,800. So there's definitely room to the upside when we get further down. So where we are now is sort of like no man's land, at least from this time frame. And not looking for a trade here. I'm long lower down, shorter higher up. Okay. That's what we're looking at here. Let's look at ES on the 60. And a couple of levels over here for shorter time frame trades. Looks like we landed ourselves in a demand at the end of the week. Right over there, we were breaking out of some prior highs, not the best looking level. Yeah, down here is something that's more interesting to me. Again, the 2,700 is coming in somewhere right around this level down over here. That's where we have this prolonged basing period over here. Right, back down over here. That's where, again, somewhere over here is where we're going to talk about this ending. So it's very possible that we even get a gap down, especially in the overnight hours on Sunday, that we gap down and we just keep on wiping out any longs down here, so, you know, stop hunting and screwing everybody under there. And then, you know, maybe Monday or Tuesday, I'm not sure, we'll have to see what it looks like, but expect that this leg down will start to retrace. It's not going to, this is not the crash. The crash is not happening yet, okay? It's going to happen after we've rallied back up and we've confirmed the top on a higher time frame, right? So that would, you know, look a lot different than what it looks like now, right? We're looking about, I'll just draw it out for you so you know what to expect, but, right? So we come down here on a weekly chart and then we start to bounce back and we turn over somewhere over here. Right, so somewhere over here on the daily chart, we push down into here and we go up to here and then we turn over. That's when you could talk about doing something major, okay? And that's when we'll start to get, you know, really short for a longer period of time. All right, you're still fighting a higher time frame trend on your shorts over here, especially on the weekly, dailies for sure. All right, the lower time frames have started to turn into downtrends, but up here, absolutely not. Okay, and therefore demand, nice strong demand. Definitely something we want to buy at this point, okay? Because we don't know if this is going to turn into a lower high. It may just blast through the top and make new highs after that. So the long is a definite trade. And, you know, I've been saying short, 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 short. And this week I'm telling you, start to think about getting long. You know, put it in the back of your right away, just lower down, okay? Let's look at NQ, and then I'll take questions, okay? NQ, similar story, obviously, as far as the general direction, looking for a continued sell-off and then a rally back, okay? Let's look back here on the weekly chart. Again, also the engulfing candle back down there. You know, NQ looks to me like, you know, back here someplace where we want to get back to like 6,400 or so. So still plenty of room. That's this level on daily chart. This one, 6,400 right here. This sucker, okay? All this is going to get retraced, and then we'll turn around, and we'll see what happens when we get back somewhere over here, right? You know, somewhere around here. So we're talking about another potential, looks like almost 200 or 300 points down for NQ before we start to consider the bounce coming in over here, okay? Yeah, okay, so Apple's close to bend, and that could help. Yeah, for sure that if Apple starts bouncing down there, then it'll help the NASDAQ. Again, we don't know what's going to happen as we open up tonight. Are we going to look at a gap down or not? You know, we'll see. But you can see back here, again, you know, clearly this is decent demand, that's for sure. This one is playing out its head and shoulders that I talked about last week, right? We had a really nice looking head and shoulders over here, right? And there it is. There it is. Now we're in this demand, and the question is, okay, do we back test it over here, or do we still break through this level and start getting a lower low before we test back? We don't know yet, obviously. Okay, and we'll wait and see what happens as we open up. But the general direction, the idea that we're looking for, I would say, you know, I'm looking for a long lower down. I'm looking for a short higher up. Right now, we're still in the middle, and even this one here, arguably, could be it could be an uptrend, or you know, or a downtrend, depending on what you call this. If you're calling this a pivot, so you're in a downtrend, and if you're calling this a drop-based drop, so you're still really in an uptrend, at least from the 240 perspective. The daily is still up, that's for sure. And again, we need to have back testing into creating a lower high to start turning this thing into a downtrend. Okay, right? There's no lower high here. This is just selling off from the top. We're going to find some demand someplace. Then we rally back up when we create a lower high. That's what we can talk about. starting the big sell-off. So even if you missed Friday's action, you're not at all missing any giant shorts just yet. I mean, it was a very nice trade, especially if you're just day trading at a really beautiful amount of range in there that you could, pretty much just sit back and let it fall apart the rest of the day. But you're going to have a chance to get long, and you will have a chance to get a better short than Friday's rally down, sell-off, because, again, I've said this many times, I'm going to say it again, the second move is usually bigger, okay? What we saw on Friday was the first move, okay? And what happens is you have to realize that when we finally catch some legs underneath, we catch the bid and we start rallying back, that means we're using up demand underneath. Again, it's a big if, we don't know, but if we create lower highs and the sellers step back in, that means the demand has to be lower down than where we started because we've used it already, and therefore the leg down on the next leg is always going to be bigger than the first one. Okay, so you didn't miss anything. So just patience. If you're a swing trader, wait for the lower high to come, and that's when you'll start talking about swinging this sucker. Okay, let's look at some of the levels underneath us. So we talked about 6,400 down here on the daily chart. Potentially, over here there's some decent looking demand on the 240 chart. This level I don't think really is going to hold us up. Over here we have a chance around this 6,500 and change. There's a 6,500 level that I'm interested in, and then there's this 6,400. Notice there's 100 points in here of air. So, I don't think any of this little crap over here is going to stop this on the way down just yet. So we're looking for potential longs down here. If I'm going to get short, it's going to be a situation where we sort of open up tonight and start rallying into some lower time frame supply. Maybe a 60 level or something, and then we'll try a short over there. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to wait for the long to move down. Let's go look at the 60 levels. Here we go. Okay, there's our 60 chart, and so we got some supply back up here that I'm interested in. Right, this 6,900 or 6,850-ish or so. Plenty of room. Right, back test into those levels. Yeah, and if we're day trading, there's, on a 15-minute level somewhere down here, there's something lower down. Not for overnight stuff, but, during the day. You can look down at the 15-minute chart. There's a supply zone in there as well. Anybody have any questions? Go ahead and ask. Otherwise, we're moving on to crude. Cool. All right. Here we go. Crude. So I've been calling for a sell-off in crude a couple of weeks now. And, as we started getting up first, I was looking at this sucker. That one didn't do it yet. We sold off a little bit. And now I'm sort of looking right above it. We're in the weekly level. And now I believe we're done. The top has been put in. And I think we're looking at a major leg down, potentially as much as $10 to $12 down for crude. Somewhere back to the 55 level down here. So, again, excuse me, we've broken away on the monthly chart. We ended up in monthly supply. We hit the 200 moving average on the monthly chart. We've broken away up here on the weekly chart, and it's just week after week, bang, 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 bang. Then we get the final pause. This particular week that we looked at was a Harami. We had a little inside candle. It didn't really go out too far. And it tested the range of both sides, but it's looking like it's a lower high on the daily chart over here. All right. This is definitely a lower high over here. We had this double top, and it tried to rally back up there, couldn't get there, and now it's breaking down again, right? It tried this demand zone back here on Friday, started to rally, and it turned over again. I'm fairly certain we're going to see this move out of this level, and when I look back here on the daily chart, well, I've already hit this demand, and I've made a lower high, so that's unlikely to hold. I think is a given. And 60 is potential, and after that, who knows? I don't know if we're going to get. I think the next leg down that we're starting will reach probably 55 or lower. I don't know. It's obviously not going to happen in 1 week, but these two levels definitely on the radar for this week. Definitely. Okay, 61 almost a given, I would think, and potentially even 60. Let's take a look down there and what they look like as we get into those zones. Okay, so 61 is very nice back there with supply back on the other side back here. This one is the breakout area from these little, we had a little head and shoulders back here. When we arrived in those two doji candles on the monthly, that was this sucker was being created, and we were looking for it to break down over here. It didn't happen. It ended up going further, and now I think we're looking at another top. So this is the first one. This is the 60, this little breakout from this area over here. That's the one I would say, for this week, that's about as far as I'm willing to say it's going to get. But I think that the level that we're really going to come back to is this thing. It's right around the 55 and change, right in this area, for this next leg down. And then after that, it's blast off time. We're going to D+. But for the next, I would say 2 weeks at least, I'm looking at a crude sell-off, and we have to position ourselves accordingly. Okay, so we're looking for shorts. Trend is still up over here. The 240 is still up as well, but it does have the lower high. And let's take a look at the lower time frames. Have they turned over yet? Well, I think the 60 is in a downtrend actually, and fairly nice retracement over here. This was the first lower high, pivot there. We started going down, downtrend, lower high, lower low, and then we back tested again. But this is also lower than here, and again we hit a little time frame glitch over here. But again, you can see that it's turning over, so that's going to give way, and we've done a break. This is not going to hold. And, now we're down into the 60s. That's what we're looking for over here. So crude shorts, okay? Let's take a look and see if we can find somewhere. Over here, there isn't really any fresh supply that we're interested in. We need to break under here first before we can start looking again, because any turn back is going to be a higher low. We don't want that. So, if you're weren't in from Friday, there's nothing you can do until we take out this pivot down here. And when we do, so you'll start looking at some of the other levels that'll be there. There's a level here that will be a valid short after we break this low. There will also be a level here, again, will be a valid short after we break this low. So this will be a drop. We have a drop, base, drop. There'll be another drop, base, drop. We take out the bottom, then you can short here. Okay? That's what we're looking for now. Okay? That's crude. Anyone have a question? Go ahead, be my guest. Otherwise, I'm going. All right, here we go. Gold. Actually, we should be talking about the monthly charts also this session because it is the first of the month that we started trading in. So let's take a look over here. And the monthly chart on gold, we did push back up into the top of the range of our little wedge that we got going on over here. Here, that's the third one. We poked above a little bit. It's just like 4 touches up there. And we closed near there and we started to sell off after that. Well, what are we looking for this month? You're not gonna, whatever. But if you're a gold bull, it's not a good time for you. Okay. I was extremely bullish, and now I'm extremely bearish. I'm looking at a back test into something under here, here or lower, potentially even here. This wick back here, I don't think is anything. We're looking at 1,200 at least, is what I can see. I mean, it's just a huge sell-off coming for gold. Okay. We're looking at the weekly chart with another lower high, third one now. Okay. All right. Here, and then this is here, and then, over here. Yeah, we, depending over back there, we took out some stops above the thing, but above the wicks up there, but that's it. This is done. And we're starting, what is this? Pair of twins at the top? Oh, yeah. What's underneath us? Shit, nothing. This low doesn't hold. It's over. This will be, it goes back to the origin of the move, which is at minimum back here, potentially even all the way down over here. That's 1150. Right? So there is, a huge sell-off coming for gold. Huge. Get out of the way. It's going to run you over if you're long. Okay. I've sold off all my, retirement stuff that was in gold. Is been cashed out. Done. So it's time to think about, obviously, getting short if that allows you, depending on the kind of account that you have, or wait for the long way down. Where else? It isn't here. It isn't now. If you're futures trading, get out of the longs. We started a gold short on Friday. If anyone's with me in it still, you should be in it still. Nothing wrong with it. It's doing well so far. A really nice move down. And you can see on the 60, we're definitely in the downtrend at this point. Okay, so this is starting, and we've reached the demand, and we should be keep on, bounce back, lower high, bounce back, lower high. We're going to keep on doing that. So, valid shorts everywhere. Okay, up here for now. This one will become valid again when we break underneath here. If you want to take a short somewhere around 1340. Over here, again, after we get lower down. If you look to the left over here on the 60, and there is a huge pocket. There is nothing underneath us for quite some time over here. Scroll down. It looks like about 15 or 20 bucks before we come to our next half-decent demand zone. So, all the way under here. Okay, so really nice shorts coming. It looks like we might have a chance to catch the short, when it bounces off of this sucker. So maybe we push down. We've already started touching that, but we, pop here and you catch it over here, and then you start looking something like that. Okay. Don't even think about getting long gold for the next month. That's what I would say. Shorts only. Okay. Anybody else have a question? Otherwise, we're moving on. Anyone? Cool. Dollars. Okay. Just overall. I started mentioning it early that the dollar has finally found its bottom, it looks like, at least for now. On the 240 chart, we can see it happening, right? We pushed all the way down to here. We rallied up. We took out the wick over here. We pushed down. We pushed down. We pushed down. Pushed all the way down. We couldn't break the bottom. We turned around and we retraced. Okay, which means, again, second move up. There's the first move. This is now the second move. That one's going to be bigger than here. And above the wicks, what are we looking at over here? Anything? No. Okay, so we're looking at least 90 for the next move up. That's this level over here on the daily. I think it's going to get all the way up here. Maybe a little pushback out of this daily level to create a higher low, because, right, we already have the higher low here on the 240. We continue up. That will create, this is like a drop base rally. Right? And then the higher low for the daily time frame will come off of this 90 level. So I think this week 90 is almost, gimme. Dollars rallying, which means for us, shorts on the currencies, totally. If you're a dollar trader, you can buy dollars, but this one I think is the best bet to me. The short for the euro I like a lot. And the reason is because the other currencies we're going to look at in a minute already started their weakness. And for, the euro has been a little resilient, even though it shouldn't be, based on what we're seeing. And therefore, I think the leg down for the euro is going to be really bigger than some of the other ones, only because the other ones started moving down already. And if you're not short of them, you miss part of it. All of it, but you miss part of it. The euro didn't start yet, sort of showing a little bit, right? But now is the time to catch it. Okay, and this is, the move down. I think we're looking at for the euro. I think I'm crazy, but I think we're getting all the way down here, okay, down to this 114 and change, okay, something like this. That's what we're looking at, okay. So for now, back test into the 120 area. That's going to be this thing on the daily chart, which means this level is not going to hold. It's going to be a drop, base, drop. And then we'll get a little bit of a back test, and then we turn over and we end up all the way down here. Okay, and that's why the dollar is going to get to 93, right? And the euro should get all the way back down there. Okay, so if we look back at the monthly chart, right, where we are now, that's just this thing over here, right? That's this sucker right here. First level of demand after the breakout. That's the supply zone, and we're just going to pull back into here. Then we'll do something like that later on, but that's where we're going. And that's the 114, 115. That is a shitload away from where we are now. Okay, so there is a major short going to start to play, and it's going to start this week. Okay, the euro is not getting any higher than where we are. 126, forget it, ain't happening. Okay, there's our last pivot high. We pushed down, and we've made a lower high over here, and now we're just waiting for the sucker to break down. Okay, some of the other currencies, as I show you, already started breaking down. The euro is just a little late to the party, and it's going to happen this week. Okay, so we want shorts on the euro. There we go. Take a look there. Okay, so that's our last ballistic move up there, and then we sort of hold this level, but then we couldn't get through the top. And then we confirmed this lower high with that move up, and then we drop base drop. We hit demand here, touched the supply. We're rolling over. This is going to move down. This level will break. We have lower highs above us. This is gone. And this is a bullshit level over here. A little pause because the nice level bottom there couldn't break the top either. Pause, 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 boom. And we start dropping back into this area before we back test and then make that big ass move down. So the shorts are starting already. Okay, so if you're in one now, if you're in one, keep it. And if you're not in one, so we're going to have to find a way in tomorrow. Okay, but you want to be short this week. A couple of levels of supply that we got underneath us. Take a look. I'm sorry, there's supply above, a little demand over here. So, you know, there might be something here. As we start breaking down, if we take out this level, there will either be one here. Otherwise, you can look here, right around 125. There's supply sitting here as we break down. Okay, and that's going to be an opportunity for us to join shorts on the euro. Okay, cool. Anybody have a question? Okay, so far I haven't told you to buy a damn thing. I'm telling you, sell the freaking world. Sell the indexes. Sell crude. Sell gold. Sell euros. Well, let's get the party going. What are we doing with yen? This one is a beautiful, beautiful setup, okay? It's sell yen. Yeah, okay? So, but what are we looking at? Well, first of all, on the weekly chart, okay, we are looking at a lower high. Okay, and we got a nice pair of twins, and this is, I think, a back test into the lows of at least this level, at least. We hit the 9100 level that I was talking about last week. Okay, and I think we're looking at a really nice short inverse. I missed that, Dennis. What did it say? Yen can be inverse to the equities. I know, but look at Friday, Dennis. What happened to the yen on Friday? And what happened to the equities on Friday? Like, the correlations are sort of getting messed up. I agree with you in general that the yen usually moves opposite, but guess what? Were the equities rallying here? They were. Were the equities selling off here? They were. Why? What happened? They're supposed to go opposite? So this is a dollar move. This is an interest rate move. And therefore, I'm not so concerned about saying that the yen and the markets are going to be moving in the same direction. They've been moving in the same direction for more than a month, right? So, yeah, you know, that's not the way it used to be, but that's what's going on now. So, and therefore, I'm not concerned about that point, okay? And if we look here, this is what I mean, that you could see that the yen did start selling off already, just like the euro didn't, right? But the yen did. We landed ourselves right in demand on the yen 240 chart. And therefore, this is where we're expecting the bounce to come back a little bit, and the short is sitting right here. This is a money short. Love this short. Okay, this is a drop-based drop. We've already confirmed the top up here, right? And we break down, we clean out all this garbage, and then we hit this beautiful little supply, boom, boom, boom. We make lows, we hit nice demand, prior highs and everything. The short is going to happen here, and that's going to be this little back test into this sucker right here, this little hammer candle, and then bang, down to 9,000. Okay, so that's the trade we're looking for this week. A little back test into this level, and then the short up there. So let's go look at that on the 60. This one's clearly in a downtrend already, right? And we're looking at this puppy up here. Okay, pen. Why can't? Oh, there we can. Okay, cool. Somewhere right around this level over here. This is where we were breaking away from all these lows back here, right? This thing. And there's this nice area, this level on level over here. When price turns over inside this area, get short, put your stop above it, and walk away from the yen, come back in the week. We're going to be under 9,000. Okay. That's the yen trade. Okay. One of the better ones. Let's look at NatGas. Finally telling you to buy something. Right. This one looks like it's ready. I think we'll see. I'll show it to you what I'm looking at. But you know, we had that rollover. We went all the way into the weekly gap, and then we total rejection of those prices, and we back test on the daily. That's bringing us right back. We're right, into the demand zone of the daily chart. That's where we close the week out. And then as we go into the lower time frames, you'll start to see that this level is holding. The bounce back for now, at least 3.2, back to here. And I think that's what we're going to see this week. What happens up here? Are we going to break out and get up here? I'm not sure yet. We'll find out as we get there. But for now, 2.8 and change to 3.2 and change is 400 ticks. And that's a lot of money. So we're looking for a really nice bounce in that gas. I think we gap up this week. So far, I've been fairly accurate on those. I think the gap open is an up gap this week. You can see down here on the 60, we landed in that higher time frame demand on the daily chart. And then on Friday, we did this. There's a rally up. We hit the supply. So early in the middle of the night, we back test into it. And we try to get a little higher. And then we stop out the middle of the night, people, but then we hold the bottom. Okay? And this gap's up. Okay? We've cleaned out supply here. I think we gap up this week. We'll have obviously some resistance around 3. I think by the end of the week, we're back over here, 3.2, right up here. That's where we're going. So, boom, 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 like that, something like that. We'll see what happens at this zone. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. We'll get closer. But for now, that's what we're looking at. Move up into 3, a little back test into 295, moving up into 3.2. That's what this week's plot for nat gas is going to look like. So longs, if you're in from Friday, stay in. I'm in. Well, you can't get out if you're in, so it's tough. Let's go to gap open tonight, and we'll find out which way it's going. My money's on up. Okay. Let's talk about. If anyone has a question, just stop me. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going. All right. Excuse me there. I'm enjoying my coffee. Alrighty. Aussie dollar. So I called this one last week also, right? And remember, this is heavily correlated with gold. Look how big the rejection on the Aussie dollar was this week. Okay, double top, engulfing, closing down. This is the middle. That's going bye-bye. We're going down here. Okay, it's just, again, the touch of the monthly trend that we're inside the trend channel. Okay, now we got close to the top, and we're going to come back and test the bottom. That's it. But that's a big move down. Okay. This, again, was in an uptrend. We got a little high here, so this is falling back. What we're looking for is next leg down. The 240's already done it, right? We had this little head and shoulders thing going on up here. We break down. We land in demand. You see the lower high again over here and break down again. This is beautiful supply. Fantastic. Right at 8,000, a tight doji, right at prior lows, which were prior highs. That's as best as you're going to see for supply. Okay, so the back test into this thing is hit the trigger. Okay, take a short here around 8,000. Let's look at that over here, and there's the pretty zone. Really nice. Look how tight those dojis are right at 8,000 on the 60 chart. Fantastic. We've already broken down under here already, so this is a valid short as well. If you're on a, you're going to be in front of your computer or some earlier in the middle of the night stuff. If you want to try a short here, you already have a new low, so that's okay. Otherwise, it's beautiful. By the time we get up there, the 50 moving average will be inside the zone. You can see what it was on the other side. I mean, perfection. It's as nice as you're going to find. So, really nice looking Aussie dollar short, and the target is way down there. At this point, we're looking at, what did I forgot where it was? 7,000? I don't remember where the whole freaking target was. Daily, weekly, where was that zone? Yeah, so 7,500 or so. Yeah, somewhere down here. So we're talking about 500 ticks for Aussie dollar. I mean, it's craziness, right? Somewhere, yeah, this is pretty decent on the daily. On the weekly, we're looking at potentially getting all the way back down here if this is a double top, and we should be breaking this middle. So, down here somewhere. So there's major shorts coming for Aussie. And it isn't, get out after 50 ticks. This is a big short, okay? And this is, again, where you see that the euro hasn't done this move yet, right? We've seen it so far on the yen. We've seen it on the Aussie dollar already. The euro's just late to the party. It's going to happen. Same idea, right? Okay. Let's go look at pounds. They're all looking the same. All right, so on the weekly chart, we get a harami for the pounds after their strong rally up Over here again, breakaway, no back test. Look at the daily chart. All right, this is a long-term trend line, and then we get the engulfing candle on the daily chart. We get the lower high coming in after the other lower high, right? Downtrend over here, and then it holds. This is going to break on the way down, so we're talking about boom, boom, boom. So 138 is the daily level next. That's where this is going before the next bounce comes. Okay, there's no more demand under here. This is all a bunch of garbage under here. So that's not holding, okay? We're going to get down here. We might get one little test back to this level that's going to be created when we base drop into the 1.4 and change. We back test into that. If that happens, that's right there. I don't know if it's going to happen. We don't know yet. We're not there. It might be a drop, base, drop, and then another base, and then the drop. Or if we get a back test into this thing, that will open the opportunity for the short. Hit the level, short over here. Okay. Let's take a look on the 60. That's, ooh, wow, there is a very nice short. I didn't realize that when I was looking at it this morning, but it's right here. Wow, there we go. So there's our downtrend, lower high from here, lower lows are under there. You can see that. We start back testing a little bit. We hit the supply again. We turn over again. Woo, baby. So I would actually like to see us get a little lower first, but that is definitely valid for now. If we pop up into that sucker, that looks really nice. So let's draw it out. Let's see what happens up there. Let's put that on the chart. I want to know when we get there. One four two 50 looks like. Picked up a lot of those base drops on Friday through some orders. Okay. Some of these crap back here. Which ones? I don't know. I only got one. I didn't have zones in any of these, Dennis. All right. I said rally or drop base drop. I wasn't looking at what you got there. Picked up on a lot of those drop base Friday through some orders. Nothing filled. Oh, the back test. You never got the back test. I got you. Gotcha. All right. Yeah, Friday was one directional. Okay, cool. There was one. Didn't take this one here. You had this one. This one looks like it got hit on Friday. All right. Yeah, you missed this one, sucker. What happened to you there, Dan? If you were watching pounds, you should have taken that one. 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, right there. All right, cool. Anyway, let's look at Canadian. So notice the Canadian is already in the zone that the pounds didn't reach yet, right? This is the 240 zone that the pounds are at. The Canadians got there. And again, it's a base drop off the highs. There should be a back test somewhere, right? And there should be a demand zone on some lower time frame, somewhere right around here, right around 81.2, where we took out these lows. There should be something here, maybe on a 60 or something like that, that's going to offer the short here, okay? This will turn into a head and shoulders over here, and we're going to look at this coming back all the way down to here, okay? Canadian is not looking good. Let's open up this sucker here, and yeah, well, okay. Canadian has room, baby. There is a bunch of garbage underneath this sucker. We're high in before we break away from this zone that we're in now, and we bounce back and make a lower high somewhere over here. This is gone. All this is crap. We're breaking through that. We're talking about, somewhere down here, or I think 7,900 probably makes more sense. 79,000, whatever. So, a big sell-off for Canadian. Again, the dollar is going to be flexing its muscles this week, and any long currencies are going to get destroyed. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so there's the supply of the 60 right over here, and then there's something else right over here. We're landing at demand, and boom, boom. This one is the one that had the prior lows in it already. We back tested into it a little bit already right there, and then we made new lows, so we could take that again. And those are the shorts we're looking at, either up here. I don't know if we get that far. This one looks more likely that we could reach that, and something like all the way down here. After that, all this is nothing. This went into here. They're all been touched. There's a long wick back here, cleaned out a bunch of crap. So way, way down, way down. Shorts, okay, we're going short. Again, so every currency is screaming short. Alrighty, copper. Well, copper, I believe, is going to break down, but for now, it's not really a tradable trade yet. We're still in this rally, a base rally, and this is, again, could be just a, bear flag, bull flag. We might break up, I don't know. You could see back here, we sort of pushed down. We went into this demand right over here, and then we sort of rallied back, and we're just stuck here. What the hell? Which way does it want to go? Don't know. Bottom is down here. We're just building, right? Right here. So it could break up, it could break down. I don't know. No trade here. Which way do I think it's going to go? Down, but doesn't mean I'm ready to make a trade over here at all. So I don't really have anything going on for copper. And the bonds we already talked about. So we're at the end of our little session here. Unless someone has a question for me, I'll give you a quick recap. We're looking for index sell-offs. We're looking for crude sell-off. We're looking for a gold sell-off. The dollar will rally, and therefore all currencies are shorts. I like the euro and the yen the best. Obviously, gold will also get hurt with the dollar rallying. Nat gas is the only long I see this week altogether at all. Everything else is a short. Okay. The other one is, remember, keep your eye on the bonds, because when they bottom, then that's the end of this little leg down going on that we got for this week. And you want to look at soy? Okay, we'll look at soy. David wants to look at soy. No problem. So what are we looking at? On the weekly chart and the monthly chart, we're sort of stuck over here. Okay, we're still inside the range. We had this little thing going on. We have an engulfing candle back over here, right? And we've seen that this is pushing back. We had this little double bottom. I think soy is a back test into this level that we're looking at over here. All right, we should see something like this before the next rally, which is the demand is sitting over here, right over here. Okay, low down around 950, 960. That's where you want to be long. Where you are now, you'd rather be in a short. We're selling off, and there is no good demand underneath us before then. So if you're looking at a soy trade, you should be short down into 960. 960 is where the bounce will start again. We can see back here we had this little breakout from this little underneath trend line. We had this little thing going on. We broke down. We've hit a little demand. We tried to rally up. We back tested. We're just making lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. 960 looks to be the spot for soy. Okay, so until we get there, stay short. Okay. Everybody else, have a great week. And those of you that are around on our Wednesday sessions, we'll see you then. And if you're not in the Wednesday sessions, maybe you want to join. Otherwise, have a great week, and I will see you guys. All the best.